France is a wonderful country. It's a country which is very diverse. It's very central in Europe. It's one of the main European economies. And this is also the home of gastronomy.
You can find big groups, you can find startups, young startups, you can find international organizations, multicultural groups and communities, so you can share your own culture, your own skills, and I'm sure it will be a great journey. Teaching in business schools is extremely interesting because we get to look at real-life examples of companies for management and marketing, and I prioritize student involvement, both in the participation in class and also in bringing topics that they're curious about. So I try to create a really interactive environment where everybody learns from each other. I learn from my students, and I hope that they learn from me too.
Hi, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Darren HUNT. I'm the president of our International School of Management. I'm happy to have you all here today from Sri Lanka. Without further ado, I'm going to address the people that I have with me today. I have a member of the Aura team, Maha. Hi, Maha. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And I have Pavitra. Hi, Pavitra.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So just to explain what's going to happen today, we're going to keep this very short and sweet for you all. I'm here to explain with these two young ladies why you should consider studying in France and why you should consider studying at our International School of Management. Just before we do, just let me give you a couple of rules. If you have any questions, please put them on the YouTube commentary box, and we will answer those questions during the presentation today. Just before we go any further, Pavitra, could you just explain to us who you are and what you do?
Hi, my name is Pavitra Levison, and I'm a senior education consultant from Premium Education Consultancy, and we provide a student visa service in assistance of guiding a proper institution, and we are guiding to choose a proper course. This is our service.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Pavitra. So we'll talk to you later. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up on the screen the presentation, which will be short and sweet, I promise you. We're here to talk about what we offer and what France can offer to you. So we're going to talk about Aura, and when we talk about Aura, we'll be talking about the programs we offer, which are International Business Management and International Hospitality Management, which is extremely popular at the moment. And that at 3 levels. You have the BBA, the MBA, and the EMBA, which you may not have heard of. I will explain that to you shortly. But just before I do, let's just tell you a little bit about our international. So we're a relatively new school. We do depend upon the government, so it's an official school. We were founded in 2021. It says on the screen by myself, but believe me, I wasn't on my own. I have a big team around me. So the school was created in 2021. We created the school with our partners too. You'll hear about our partners later. Our partners are big companies, international companies, whether it be in business or in hospitality, because we wanted to make programs that would actually help you to be able to find employment immediately once you've completed your degree, and not just be like a lot of diplomas where they don't have much power for you. Coming from France, we have a very high level of education. So, of course, it's a diploma that's recognised almost everywhere in the world. Just moving on to talk about the 2 campuses that we have. We have a first one in Paris. Now, you may or may not know Paris. You may have been, hopefully. If you haven't, you can come soon. So in Paris, in the west part of Paris, there is a place called La Défense. Now, La Défense is actually the biggest business hub in Europe. So there's no better place to be for business. Although for hospitality, it's also very good too, because it's one of the most visited capitals in the world, which means in terms of hospitality, in terms of restaurants, in terms of hotels and other areas of the tourism and hospitality industry, there are so many opportunities here. Just having a look at the campus, just a couple of pictures here. So you have one of the classrooms, you have the reception area, you have the library. There's also a games room. There's the cafeteria that you can see on there too. If I move on to the Lyon campus, Lyon was actually the first campus that we opened. And why did we open our campus in Lyon? Well, firstly, Lyon is the second largest economic city in France. But mostly what's known by anybody living in France, and some people from abroad too, would know that Lyon is actually the capital of gastronomy. Yes, so capital of gastronomy, meaning that all the big chefs come from here. Some of them still have their flagship restaurants here. You may or may not have heard of what's called the Michelin stars. So for hotels, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. And then above 5-star, you have palaces. And in the restaurant industry, you will have Michelin stars. Not many restaurants have the Michelin stars because it's very difficult to obtain, but this originated from Lyon. So you can see this is why it's the capital of gastronomy in France. Again, just a few photos, a few images. Pretty similar layout. There's a games room, there's a cafeteria, there's the classrooms, and there's some reading areas and some chill out areas. Moving on to some of the big subjects. So firstly, obviously, you want to know which country you want to go to, which school you want to go to. And then what you'll want to know is, where am I going to live for the next 2 or 3 years during my studies? So accommodation, you must know, so I have to tell you, in Europe is fairly expensive. We're looking at 400 to 800 euros per month, depending on how big the flat is or the apartment. Whether it's in the centre of the town or whether it's on the outskirts. So between 400 to 800 euros per month. Now, I have 2 bits of good news for you. That is a large amount of money. It's a massive amount of money each month, but that's what it costs. Having said that, you have 2 great bits of news, 2 people that are going to help you with your accommodation financially. Firstly, or international, we do have and offer our own accommodation for both of the campuses that we have. So if you get in touch with us, you'll be looking at somewhere between 400 to 600 euros per month as opposed to 800. Secondly, probably even more important, is that the government would actually give you back up to half of what your monthly rent is each month. Between 35 and 50% of your monthly rent is subsidized by the French government. This is because the French government help students in general and certainly are enticing you to come to France to study. So they help you financially. It needs to be set up. My team set this up for you when you arrive in France. Another very big part of your studies is the internship. Now, each year you will see when I talk about the different programs that we offer, that we are offering 6 months studies, 6 months internship, and that is the same for every year that you would be here. So 6 months study, 6 months internship. Whilst you are doing your internship, you are paid by our partner company, who is actually going to be your employer for 6 months. So you are paid each month. Now, the amount that you are paid can vary very much. But generally speaking, it can't be less than 624 euros or 623.7 euros to be precise. That's because this is a law in France, so they have to pay you this each month. Now, it can be more, it can be double, it could even be triple. Usually you will find that it could be a little bit more on the business side rather than hospitality, but that's because in hospitality you have no cost whatsoever for doing your internship. What do I mean by that? They accommodate you, so you have accommodation with them. They feed you, and you have a uniform, and that's looked after for you too. So you can see this is really pocket money for you. So the 6 months of studies, a lot of our students have part-time jobs. Again, there's a law in France, you cannot be paid any less than around 10 euros per hour. So generally speaking, you're looking at about 700-800 euros per month if you're working 20 hours a week after your school activities. And then when you're doing your internship, you're paid once again, minimum of 623.7 euros per month, but it could be double, it could be more than that. I have seen as much as triple. So internship, we provide through our partner companies, and you're paid for this. Just moving on. Some of our partners you'll see here, it's a very few of our partners, some of the big ones, very international. But again, there's many more to be seen. The main benefits of coming to France. Just before I talk about this, let me say that most people, when they want to study abroad, would think about going to the UK, Australia, New Zealand, any of these English-speaking countries, could be the USA. France has not really been the most popular place. Why? Because France as a country did not propose this and did not communicate this, but they have started over the last few years. And France is becoming more and more popular. The reasons for this: one, the government help you. Two, you will see in a moment that the studies, your programs, are cheaper than going to some of the other countries I've mentioned. And three, very important, is the visa. Obviously, getting a visa now to go to some of the other countries I've mentioned is becoming more and more difficult. I'm not saying it's easy for France, but if you have a very good file, you have a good project, and you know why you want to go to France, you know which school you're going to and why you've chosen this school, there is no reason that you would not get your visa. Okay, so France do want you to come and study. They're very good on giving visas as long as you have a good file, you know where you're going and why you're going and what you want to do, and even what you want to do after your studies. Do you want to stay in France to gain some more work experience? Do you want to go to another country in Europe? Do you want to go home? Do you want to go home and start a company or take over a family business? You need to think about your future, and now is the time to do that. So moving back to France, the benefits of coming to France. First of all, you have social security, health and insurance coverage for all international students. Secondly, the internship assistance, which I mentioned. So we will be providing your internship through our partner companies, of which you will be paid each month during the time that you're doing your internship. Schengen visa is the visa that you would need to come. Our partner will actually go through that with you along with my staff, and they will help you and prepare you and take you through the visa process right up until you arrive in France, where the team in France will actually take over and look after you day in, day out. With the Schengen visa, you can technically visit any of the other countries within the Schengen area. Having said that, most of our students, because they're very busy, they study, and this is a good point, they study 2.5 days per week. So it could be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning, or Wednesday afternoon, Thursday and Friday, which means you have 4.5 days for doing some homework, but also for your part-time jobs, etc. Some of the students actually do the part-time jobs in the evening too, so that's up to you. But during the holidays is usually when the students actually go and visit other countries. We have international airports in both of the campuses, both next in the city of Lyon and in the city of Paris, of course. So you can have a low-cost airline company as little as 20 or 30 euros. You could go and visit Spain, Italy, or any of the other countries that you wish to. The CAF, I did mention earlier, I didn't call it CAF, but I did mention it. It's the subsidy on accommodation rental for all international students, and that's from the French government. So they'll pay between 35 and 50% of your rent each month. The last point is student concessions. Now, with the student card that our school would provide you, you can actually get concessions almost everywhere. Transportation is cheaper for students. Going to the cinema is cheaper for students. Anything such as going to museums, etc. Even food outlets, even McDonald's is cheaper for students. So with your student card, you get discounts almost everywhere you go. Moving on now to the programs themselves. The first one that I'm going to talk to you about today is the BBA, or the Bachelor in Business Administration. You will see that we're always offering the two main subjects, International Business Management and International Hospitality Management. The duration of the course for the BBA is 3 years. Each year, as I mentioned earlier, 6 months of studies, 6 months of an internship. The eligibility criteria is the European Baccalaureate, which you probably wouldn't have, the high school diploma, 12th grade or higher secondary school certificate, or the equivalent in any stream. So you can see that the course fees are actually on the screen. You have for Paris campus, €10,400 per annum. And for Lyon campus, €8,500 per annum. There is an administration fee of €320 each year. Now, the intake is actually the 2nd of September 2025, so this year. There is a cut-off date. The cut-off date for applying to go to France and to go to OR International and to start in September, the cut-off date for applying is the 15th of June. So it's in just over a week from now. Now, why is that so? That's because we need time to process you. You have to have 2 short interviews with ourselves, and within less than a week, you will know if you've been accepted by OR International. Once you've been accepted, we need to take you through the visa process, and to obtain your visa in time, we need to start very early. And that's why the cutoff date for the September intake is the 15th of June. So just moving on to the Master in Business Administration, or the MBA. So again, International Business Management or Hospitality Management. This time it's a 2-year course. Course structure is identical, 6 months studies, 6 months internship. The eligibility criteria is the European Baccalaureate level 3 or 4 bachelor's degree. So you could have your BBA already, or the equivalents in any stream. And again, you have this time the course fees, which for Paris are €11,400 and Lyon €9,500, with an administration fee of €320 for both of the campuses. The intake again is the 2nd of September with a cut-off date of the 15th of June. Now, just one point, I will be in just a moment talking to you about scholarships, and you will actually see that whether you want to go to Paris or Lyon, it actually comes out to the same price at the moment. I'll explain that in just a moment. So moving on to the EMBA. Now, the EMBA is specifically an MBA that's for people that already have their BBA and then they decided to go out and work. So basically, they've got the BBA, they've gone out and started to work, and they've been working for a minimum of 3 years. If you have your BBA, you've worked for more than 3 years, then you can apply for an EMBA, which can be completed within just 12 months. 6 months studies, 6 months internship. So once again, if you have your BBA already in the pocket, as it were, and you've been working for more than 3 years, then you can apply for the EMBA. This course is only available in the Lyon campus, and the course fee is €11,200, and again with an admin fee of €320. The intake, however, is in October and not September. So for the EMBA, it's in October. So talking about the scholarships I mentioned earlier. So for the Lyon campus, you have a €3,000 scholarship for the 2nd year. There's nothing for the 1st year, but there is for the 2nd year. And for the EMBA, there's a €1,000 scholarship. For the Paris campus, in the 1st year, you have a €1,500 scholarship, which means you will see it actually works out to almost exactly the same cost between Paris and Lyon. And then in the 2nd year, you equally have a €3,000 scholarship. To apply for the scholarship, you literally just need to contact us, obviously through our partner that's here today, Pavitra, that was talking earlier, and then you have our staff also, and you'll have our details on the screen just a little later on, within a couple of moments or so. So moving on. here you have our website. I do advise you to go and see our website. You need to know more about France. You need to know more about Aura. You need to know more about the programs to make sure they correspond with what you are looking for and what you want to do in the future. So you can learn so much visiting our website. You'll have the details on the screen in just a moment. So visit the website, learn as much as you can, see if it's for you. Maybe it's not for you. Just one of the points is that I've been mentioning, obviously, everything about France, France, France. In France, we speak French, of course. However, all of the courses that we deliver are 100% in English. We will, on top of your program, that you will be following, we will be offering you, which they are an obligation, you will have French courses every day. So the idea is that when you leave Aura, whether you go home, whether you stay in France, whether you go to another country, you have your international diploma, you've learnt a new language, and you've learnt a new culture. Many of our students that have been learning within the second year, because obviously they have 6 months studies each year and 6 months internship, within the start of the second year, their French is unbelievable, which also means they're getting better part-time jobs. And some of them have been actually offered a job working for the people where they've been doing their internship. So it's very important to learn the language too. And that's why we're promoting France. So some of the accreditations that we have now, you may or may not know what accreditations are. It is important. It really is important. One of them extremely important. They all are important. Basically, it's external companies or the government in some cases that will actually audit the school to see what kind of school you are, how you're teaching, and most importantly of all, what you are teaching. So some of the accreditations, they're not all there, but some of them are there. We have AMBA, or Business Graduates Association, which you may or may not have heard of. They cover all subjects. ICRI is specifically for hospitality. EFMD Global is more for business in our case. RNCP France Compétences, this is actually the government, linked to the government anyway. So this is a very important one. And then we have the CCI of Dordogne. The CCI is actually the Chambers of Commerce and Industry. We're extremely proud to be a partner with the Chambers of Commerce and Industry because we're one of only 9 schools that are actually partner with this Chambers of Commerce. Just moving on. You have our details here on the screen. What I'm going to do now is just bring back in Maha and Pavitra. Hi again.
Hi, hi.
Yes, sir.
So what I want to do now is if I can have a look at the questions, if there are any indeed. Looks as if we probably answered a lot of the questions. I have lots of highs and thank yous. Maha, I do have one question. It actually is from Noyan. It says, hi, are there any Sri Lankan students currently studying?
Yes, we have both in our Lyon campus and Paris campus. We have MBA students and executive MBA students studying with
Yes.
us. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
If you want to get in touch with them, we'll be happy to share their contracts. Contact, so that they can give their feedbacks and help you. When you come to France, also they can be your good friends.
Yeah, it's always good to have somebody of the same nationality because they understand you. Obviously, there's the language, but you all speak English, so that's not so much a problem. But it's nice to feel that you have somebody of your own nationality. However, I always encourage people to mix and mingle and to get to know the other nationalities. And that's really important because you can learn so much. I've actually put the details on the screen there of our trusted partner, Premium Education, who Pavitra is today representing. So you have their details on the screen. You also have the Aura website, which I really strongly advise you to go and see just to learn about France. There's so much information on there and to learn about the school. That's all we've had in terms of questions, but don't hesitate to get in touch with Pavitra. You have a telephone number on the screen. So get in touch, ask her all the questions that you want to. If she doesn't know the answer, then she will get in touch with Maha because they work very closely together, of course, taking you as a student all the way through the process. Just had a last minute question. I perhaps think we have time for this from Rasan. What are the job opportunities after this course? Okay. Job opportunities, you have many. It's very easy to find employment in France for young people. It's probably more difficult today for people of my age, but certainly of your age, it shouldn't be a difficulty. It depends how you're doing things. If you are on a bachelor's course, then perhaps you could even, if you wanted to find a job for after you've completed your course, then you should be looking almost from day one when you arrive in France. Slightly different way of doing it if you're doing a BBA or an MBA. If you're doing a BBA or bachelor's degree, this would actually be your future employer that would give you a promise of a contract, and then they would have to go through the relevant services for you to be able to start work once you've completed your courses. If you're on an MBA course, then you actually have the right to ask for what's called a stay-over visa or a job-seeking visa. That's not the official term in French, of course, but it's just so that we all understand what I'm talking about. Basically, you have the right to stay in France for up to 1 year. You do have to request this. Again, we do this for our students. You request it before you've completed your MBA, and then you can stay up to 1 year to look for a job. To be honest with you, you shouldn't need a year to look for a job. You should be looking right from day one and building up a network. A lot of our students are offered employment by where they've actually been doing their internship, which makes sense because our partner, he's seen you working for 6 months for the first year and 6 months for the second year. It's far easier for this employer to employ you, who he knows, than to just put a random advertisement looking for someone for a job. So yes, there are actually lots of opportunities for you. I had another question actually from the same person, which was, can I find this? Lyon or Paris, best for international students? They're identical, but for different reasons. I mean, they're just two different cities. Some people like to be in the capital. A capital is a capital in any country. You have absolutely everything that's linked to it. So basically, it's difficult for me to say which one is best for you. They're different. Lyon, maybe you're closer to the ski resorts if you want to go and try skiing, but then again, you have trains going from Paris there. So I would say they're fairly identical for both international students. That's why we've for all international students, that's why we've actually implanted 2 campuses in 2 different cities, but identical. So look, thank you all for your questions today. Once again, don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you have any questions. Just remember the cutoff date is the 15th of June. So do get in touch with us before then to actually apply. It's very quick, very simple. Just give us a few documents. You'll have an interview with a member of our team, and then we'll take you through the process if you're successful at the interview. So could I have just a last word, perhaps, from Pavitra? Do you just want to say goodbye, or do you have something in particular you'd like to say?
Yeah, I have few words to say. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So, hi, as I said, I'm Pavitra Lewison, and I'm truly honored to be here with you today. And let me explain our services. Our services is completely end-to-end, and we help you to choose a right course to right institution, or as one of the best institution we have gone through. And as well as we are giving you full assistance in supporting visa application, visa documents guidance, as well as we are helping you in the advice of show money, as well as our service is personalized, and we are giving you completely end-to-end service. So you can trust us and you can join in our International School of Management for your future studies. Choosing a right destination and right place to study is the best option. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So once again, Maha, do you have any last words?
Yes, so Premium Education is a very trusted student recruitment partner in Sri Lanka. So you can trust them to study any of your BBA, MBA, Executive MBA programs. So we have very good success rate. We have about 85% success rate for the master's programs in Sri Lanka. So if you want to study, if you want to go to France, this is the right time to apply. So please approach Premium Education and they will guide you. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you both, ladies. Thank you all for having watched today. As it says on the screen, please like and subscribe our channel. This way, any of the newest and latest news that comes out, you'll be the first people to know. So thank you all. Have an absolutely wonderful afternoon, and I hope to see some of you in France soon. Thank you, merci, as we say in French, and au revoir, goodbye. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.